Hi, everybody. I am Chris Pierdomenico.
I am Gabe Ribeiro.
And this is our Power Rangers podcast, Back to Action. On today's episode, we will be reviewing Season 4 of Power Rangers Zeo.
Affectionately known as Mighty Morphin Light.
Yes.
In a good way.
In a good way, yeah. So this was a pretty significant change for the show.
It's weird because a lot changes, but they keep enough similar to where it's like, we don't want to lose the audience.
For the past 3 seasons, they kept the same costumes. Of course, in Japan, we know that they change the costumes every season. So they just decided to kind of go all in. They were really hanging on to that.
The Mighty Morphin brand.
Because it was so iconic. Yeah. And, you know, if it sells well, it makes sense.
We have toys to sell.
We talked about in the Season 3 podcast, it didn't really make a whole lot of sense. Why?
We're not combining the Shogun Zords with Titans. You know they want to sell toys.
Right. But, seeing like the different helmets that didn't make sense and everything. So they're like, okay, you know what? We're going to commit. They had a really great lead into this in Season 3, as we talked about.
That cliffhanger.
And here we are in Power Rangers Zeo.
It's funny because we can sum up this season in terms of plot pretty quickly because it's 50 episodes, right? 50 episodes.
50 episodes.
And I'd say about at least 30 are filler. It's a lot. It's just to keep the casual fans there.
How would you define filler?
It's an episode that it's essentially the Rangers have a plot of the day. Something's going wrong. They find a way to fix it after they fight the monster in a normal size. They get overpowered. They summon the Megazord. They fight it, or the power weapons, because this season is heavy on weapons, but we'll get to that. But yeah, it's essentially like that standard formula of Rangers have an issue of the day. They fight the monster. There's some hilarious Bulk and Skull moments, and they win outright, and then we move on until we actually get like a plot development in some way, shape, or form.
And to be fair, that was pretty much the formula for seasons 1 and 2 in a lot of ways.
2 got shaken around a bunch because of the cast changeover, and then they added the White Ranger and then new Zords. But yeah, it's pretty much in the season 1 formula where a lot of episodes was just Megazord fights the big monster, the Rangers win out. And
we got a little spoiled in season 3 with all the big arcs. And we have arcs in this one, but they're not quite as big. And I think a lot of that has to do with, for the first time, like all their villain footage for the first time since season 1.
Yeah, King Mondo is the new villain with his wife Machina and his son Prince Sprocket. And your favorites, Clank and Orbis.
Around and around and away you go! Time for the
The footman throne. We'll talk about that in a second.
I love Clank and Orbis.
But they're the new villains. They take over like after Rita and Zed celebrate after they've defeated the Rangers when the command center explodes. They're celebrating, but then Mondo and such come in and then they attack the palace. And pretty much from there on, it's a lot of Sentai footage of stuff they recycled from their counterpart O-Ranger, which is very much different from the American footage.
And they really couldn't do that a whole lot with the previous season. So we're seeing
because they didn't adapt the Die Ranger villains, and they only adapted Master Vile and Rito for the suits essentially.
There were some
because Zed was completely American.
But I'd say about for the villains this time for the Machine Empire, I'd say about 90% of the footage is Japanese.
Yeah, they bring the suits in when they want to do their American plots and still have them there.
Yeah, which I thought was good. I thought was good continuity. Yeah. In that way, and it was kind of cool to see them kind of rely on Sentai footage. They're, like you can still kind of tell the difference. Like just obviously,
there's a definite when they bring Machina's suit over, something seems weird with the mouth. The mouth seems bigger, and she doesn't look right. Mm-hmm. Oh, we should talk about this. The voice of Machina is Alex Borstein. From,
Family Guy.
Nancy V.
Yeah.
She's essentially doing her Babs Pewterschmidt voice. I can't do it, but like a good example would be like, darling, when are we going to dispose of those pesky Power Rangers? I can't do it. But it's like, it's Country Club Lois, essentially.
And they're really, the Machine Empire is really, I think, portrayed well in the beginning of the season.
They actually look like a threat instead of a cog.
Serious threat. And they're, even so much that Rita and Zed are scared of them.
Yeah, they just get scared off.
Well, I do want to say they really give Rita and Zed a great send-off.
They do. When you think Rita and Zed are gone, they're like, oh, we don't know what to do. And Zed's just like, mulling over ideas. And then Rita's just like, let's go stay with Master Vile for the time being. And Zed's like, no, I don't like my father-in-law.
It really, Zeo does a really great job of continuing from season 3.
God bless them, because, they've been keeping the same continuity going for 4 seasons. And so many episodes when Sentai has changed every year. We're trying to make our own storyline out of this.
So the Cogs are like the new.
They're robot putties.
They're robot putties.
They actually talk though, like the Tengas.
They talk.
Catch you later.
They have Sentai footage of them when they like lift up their head and they shoot those weird eye beams. But pretty much they don't do anything. They're just. Didn't Zordon say that they were like, you have to dismember them?
They have no fear and must be completely dismantled to be defeated.
But then essentially all you have to do is just punch them and they run away.
Oh, you throw a pie at them. Remember that episode where they throw a pie? And
There's an episode where the Cogs, for some reason, steal party supplies for the Rangers, and it doesn't even get paid off.
Hey, wait a second. What'd you do with all the party stuff? I thought you set it on the counter.
I did.
Cogs!
Well,
I'm like, what the hell was that about?
Well, here's the best part. It's like, so King Mondo has some really great plans sometimes. Like he has,
But then he gets really petty too.
Well, he has one where he sends like the Megazord
Into the sun.
Into the sun.
And the
Like,
Rangers barely get out.
And I'm like, oh my gosh.
But that's Japan for you, because they're dark. What do we have? Mondo sends the Cogs down to steal party supplies from the Rangers.
just oh, it's so.
And I'm like,
absurd.
wait a minute. And then that has like, what was the party supplies about? It had like this party that they didn't even throw. And I was like, there's no reason for the Cogs to steal the party supplies other than Mondo being petty.
I think
Like, it had no bearing on the plot of the episode whatsoever.
To be fair, that's not only the American side. The O Rangers show, the Japanese version of those, had some weird stuff. So there's another episode that was actually a movie.
Sprocket's Japanese counterpart has like his own movie studio, and he's like a director, and like they have a plot where the Rangers are like, oh, that's what it was. Wasn't Rocky like he was like the stunt double for the
They
whole
were
guy?
they were extras in a movie.
They were extra, and then Rocky like stood in for the main guy because he was good at fighting the Cogs or something.
But they get some great one. Like it is very hard to top Rita and Zed, but I think Mondo and Machini got some good
they
ones.
have their own moments. They just like, I don't know if it was just because I'm gonna go on a brief anecdote that I don't know if you knew about with O Ranger. So when it was released, it was the 20th anniversary of Sentai. It was the 20th season. And it was really dark. Like the whole season revolves around like fighter pilots, and Mondo and Machina's counterparts are invading Earth in 1999. It's like a future apocalypse with like robot overlords.
Mm-hmm.
But about 3 weeks into the season airing, they had these unfortunate like poison gas attacks in Tokyo subways that like had casualties just slightly less than like Pearl Harbor.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
No, I didn't
And
know
then
that.
they had to tone the show down. And then the next season of Sentai, which we'll talk about, that's adapted into America, is purposely silly and a satire because it was too dark for kids. And even Japan got too dark, apparently, with unfortunate circumstances. But yeah, I guess they didn't want to keep like some of their footage is probably like pretty messed up, like widespread destruction across cities. And no, they have a can we talk about this one line where they show some Sentai footage of the Machine Empire attacking a city, and they watch it from the viewing globe, and Rocky says,
Hey, look! They've hit the abandoned warehouse district.
That was great. Well, and even we talk about, well, we'll get to Turbo, but this even had some parody elements.
well, Power Rangers has always been silly because either what they have to adapt or what they have to do being a kid's show, and they don't want to show too much violence.
Yeah.
But
what do you think about the Rangers this season? So we talk a lot about the villain. The villains kind of steal the show, but let's talk about the Rangers for a little bit.
just to continue, okay. There are two Rangers that I'm going to point out. One's not, technically, two of them aren't even in the main lineup. One of them is Billy. Billy has the best character arc of anybody in the season, and he's not even a Ranger because once they start the new powers, so after the command center explodes, we get like a cop out, and they say we designed this underground chamber that Zordon and Alpha were working on in secret. They get the new powers that are like representative of the Zeo crystal, so they have the shapes on their helmets. They're good suits.
Yeah, I thought this
I
was
like
really
the gold
cool.
trim, and the shapes are fine. It doesn't really explain why they have the shapes. I don't even know why they have them in the Sentai.
Well, they have, it's like Zeo Ranger 1.
They explained that in America. They said that their shapes are, like, when they do the roll call, it's Zeo Ranger 1, pink. Each shape that they have is one-sided, or for cats, it would be one-sided. Tanya's is 2, because she has, like, an equal sign. And then Rocky, the triangle, so has 3, and et cetera, because Adam has a rectangle.
I did not notice that until I was an adult. I'm like,
I even went up to you. I was like, did you know that was the reason why they had the shapes, or at least that was the cop out in America, because they had their specific sides of their geometric shape?
I don't know why they fixated on the numbers.
Zeo Ranger 1, pink. Zeo Ranger 2, yellow.
Zero Ranger 3, blue. Zero Ranger 4, green. Zero Ranger 5, red.
I mean, I don't know why.
It is what it is. But Billy starts out, he decides to step down and let Tanya become the Yellow Ranger. And when they had their first fight with the Cogs, I'm like, when did Tanya learn martial arts? It has to come with the powers. I'm going to assume it comes with the powers because it wasn't Sentai footage. It was American.
Well, yeah, it's funny. Like with the season 1, like they were actual martial artists,
they grew
or gymnasts or something.
I always thought it was like, especially with like somebody like Billy or Kimberly, who was like a gymnast.
Yeah.
Like they said that Zach, Trini, and Jason had martial arts skills, but like Billy couldn't fight off the putties until he morphed. So I thought it was a thing that would come gradually. Yeah. Obviously, you had to cop out to the Sentai footage because they could beat the putties up, but I always thought it came with the powers.
Yeah.
It's like they just brought Tanya in. She became an adult, and then
Billy had a really great arc this season. But I just want to reiterate, I hate what they did to him.
So
behind the scenes, and I don't know how much we want to go into that.
For those of you who don't know what happened with David Yost stayed on the show. He was Billy became the technical advisor at the Power Chamber. He was essentially like their explanation as to why they had new Zords, etc. Near the end of the season, he walked off the set. There's an interview on YouTube. He'll explain why he does it, but it's unfortunate. And the producers always just say it's a pay dispute, but I'm very much inclined to believe David Yost on this, especially with what he said. And it was at a time period where there was things going on like that, and it's unfortunate. But if you guys want to look into it, the David Yost interview, it's on YouTube. And you'll see why he walked off the set. It's unfortunate.
We can link to it, and I think it's terrible what they did.
Yeah.
And David Yost, I've met David Yost, and he's a really great guy.
He liked my Instagram post.
Yeah.
You're my friend, David Yost. I love you.
He's a great guy. So that was kind of hard to see them.
Especially because, I'll be honest, when I was a kid, I thought I was cool. I'm clearly not now because I'm in my 30s doing a Power Rangers review. But... I always wanted to be like one of the cool Rangers, and Billy was the nerd. But Billy really came into his own, especially near the end of Mighty Morphin, when, like, remember that one Zord fight he had with the Shogun Zord? I was like, that was cool. And then he became, like, their de facto leader during the Alien Rangers because he was the only adult. Mm-hmm. And then he had, like, his own arc as, like, the technical help at the Power Chamber. It just felt natural.
Yeah.
Alpha, contact the Rangers.
Right away, Billy.
He even had, like, a mini arc where, remember when he went to visit the Alien Rangers to help them with, like, their water shortage or something?
Yeah.
Like, Mondo tried to intercept him one episode and stop him from landing on Earth. It was a good storyline.
As far as the other Rangers...
Bland. They don't write them to have personalities.
They give Rocky a different girlfriend every week.
He has this really cool episode where there's this woman he's pining for who's like a blind martial artist. It's a really cool thing. Then he, like... There's an episode... Like during the episode, he cowers over to the corner and he's like...
It's morphin' time.
She's blind, Rocky, not deaf. It was really bad. And then there was another episode where he was dating the girl who was good with computers, who was helping him with his project or something.
Right. Then there was another, wasn't there? There was like at least 3.
Yeah. There was that episode where Rocky turned into a plant. He told Kat that she had nice leaves.
Hey, nice leaves.
Nice leaves?
Yeah, you've got nice leaves. Your branches aren't bad either.
And he morphed 5 times in the episode. 5 times. An episode of Power Rangers is only 20 minutes with the theme song. Rocky morphed 5 times in that episode.
Was it 5 times?
No, I think it was 5 Ranger morphs, but Rocky was at least 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was weird.
Different configurations, because I think Adam was at like the batting cage or something.
But, Rocky was interesting. Adam's great, too.
They don't do anything with Adam this season.
They really kind of tease like him and Tanya.
They do, and it's a shame because
they're really good together. I thought that would have worked well.
If you guys can find the interview, they originally had teased. I remember you and I talking about this. I said that I was like, I didn't know that Tanya and Adam were love interests, and you're like, I didn't either. Mm-hmm. But then there was a thing, and Johnny Young Bosch and Nakia Barry said like, yeah, it was on paper originally, but then they just gave up on the idea.
And they put Tanya with Sean.
Yeah, it's this like boyfriend she has for like 1 or 2 episodes, and he's kind of a jerk. And he's like a jerk to her because she almost blew the baseball game because she was their star pitcher.
And she wouldn't help him cheat too. Which,
yeah, that too.
It's toxic.
Yeah, he's like one of those random characters that shows up a couple times. I was like, oh, he's a one-off character. He'll be gone. I was like, oh, it's him again. But yeah, the Rangers are pretty boring. They have like a couple good moments. All right. If we're going to talk about the Rangers, you're ecstatic about this.
Tommy and Kat.
It's a stupid storyline that's really convoluted and dumb.
See, I think so.
And goes nowhere.
This season, we find out that Kimberly breaks up with Tommy off camera, right?
Yeah, and there's a weird comic book canon where she said there was someone else in the Dear John letter. When Tommy reads it, he's like weightlifting or whatever. Even though Tommy's really lean, he just looks like a guy who does martial arts. He's not lifting like that. Come on now.
I don't know.
but like he'd be way more jacked. She reads this Dear John letter from him, and they say in the comic book canon, because Kimberly says in the letter there's someone else, but then she says in the comic book canon, I think I said this to you, like this is even more sad. There was no one else. She just didn't think she could carry on a long distance relationship. That's even more sad. I guess they just wanted to make it easier.
Tommy and Kat. I like Kat. You know Kat's...
Well, we have to get into that stupid snowboarding three-parter too.
Right.
Well, because we can talk about this too. So there was a clear... I think there was a clear intention because I think it just ended. Sarah Brown is her name?
Is it Sarah Brown in VR Troopers?
Sarah Brown is from VR Troopers. She's
the
the
character's name.
No, she's the actress's name. That's
it
her
really?
name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I forget what her name is. She shows up in that mini arc where Tommy, like the Rangers, or no, Billy and Kat take him snowboarding to get his mind off of Kim. And he falls for the Sarah Brown woman. I forget her character's name. She was on VR Troopers. There's another VR Troopers tie-in.
I think she was Caitlin on VR Troopers, if I recall.
I remember VR Troopers. I remember watching it, but I don't remember very little about it. I just remember the shit's looking really cool.
Yeah.
But it was another like Saban show where I feel like they wanted to get the canon going. I was like, you guys already have to try to throw together a loose canon, and then you're trying to go in another Tokusatsu show.
Well, they were trying to put together canon because it was a different character.
We'll talk about something because I don't think there's something you know about because another VR Troopers tie-in.
No, I know the other VR.
We'll talk about this. We'll talk about
saying the Sarah Brown's character was not her character.
No. But I think they wanted to keep whatever. She was like pining for Tommy, and they kept trying to have dates, but Tommy kept going and pulled away. Remember that episode? Is that the Sun episode where Mondo made the Earth really hot, and then the megas, like everything, the polar ice caps were melting?
Something like that.
Like they had a Megazord
which was
fight.
one of Mondo's better schemes.
They had like a Megazord fight like the first 3 minutes into the episode. I'm like, how long is this episode? It feels like, because you're so used to the Megazord episode fight being so late.
You gotta wonder with these guys, like, how do they have a life with just,
It's unrealistic because they have all these youth organizations. They teach martial arts. They go to school. Realistically, Mondo could just attack their homes while they're at school.
Right.
They could just kill them in their sleep, honestly.
That's really morbid.
It is, but I said that when I was a kid. I was like, why don't they just attack them while they're asleep?
Right, yeah.
We got out of control, though. Do you want to talk about Kat and Tommy?
Tommy, yeah. I think that relationship,
You just like Kat.
I like Kat, but... I also like him too, I think, but I think that Tommy and Kat are a better match because they both were used for evil by Rita. Like, they have that in common.
Except that they tease that Kat has, like, feelings for Tommy, and then we have, like, 30 episodes where nothing happens, and then they have a date for the movies, and
Look, I was wondering if, you'd like to, go with me?
You mean like on a date?
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're busy.
No. I'd love to.
Came back and was like, well, it was fine. No cog fights. That was it.
Well,
nothing comes of that.
I agree. I think it was handled poorly, but I think the potential for it was great. I think the setup, I thought the two characters together made sense, but they really
if they had done something with it, I wouldn't be as mad. Apparently in canon, there's still a thing because there's a Christmas episode. Should we talk about it?
Well, they're married. I think it is canon. They're married. I think in
the 25th anniversary episode we saw, Tommy had a son, and I think in the comic books, Kat is.
I like that.
It's fine. Yeah. It's just I wish they had done something with the show.
It's just
stupid. I agree. They do nothing.
They just kind of gloss it over. It's a kid show. I get that.
Dumb. At least Kim and Tommy got the kiss.
Yeah.
Kat and Tommy did nothing.
They held hands.
Great.
You had so many different Zords this season. You had the Zeo Megazord. You had the
well, they have like a really cool like docking bay that they used as a cop out. Now that's on.
They had a park.
They had a shot out of them.
They had a parking garage.
They did. Well, hold on. So the Zeo Megazord. So the Sentai footage is the plot of the O-Ranger is that they're fighter pilots that are recruited by an organization that is harnessing power from an ancient Egyptian civilization. Hence why there's all that Egyptian symbolism for their Zords. So Tommy has a phoenix, right?
Right.
And Adam the Taurus. And Rocky has the Sphinx. And then there's like these two like mausoleum statue things that Kat and Tanya have that are the legs. But they also have firepower. They have wheels on them, but yet they're being dragged on chains. What's up with that?
Well, we've had some great Zords before, but then we've got like two cannons.
Yeah, I don't like the Zeo Megazord because I said to Crispy, I was like, once they form the main thing, like, I hate to say it, the Taurus head is down here. So it's essentially the crotch. It's green. Then there's the red battle helmet, which is like the Phoenix, but the majority of it is the Sphinx, and it's mostly blue. And I'm like, there's too much blue in this Megazord.
You whined about the blue every episode.
I did, because I didn't like it. I like the diversity of colors in the Megazord.
What I did like about the Zeo Megazord was I thought the helmet thing was cool. We thought that was just going to be...
Oh, yeah, we thought that was going to be a one-off thing. They did this thing where they just changed the helmets around with configuration.
Different skills. I thought that was good. I liked that.
Like, one of them was a hovering thing, one gave him the flight. What was Cat's? I forget.
I think Cat was more firepower or
something like that.
But
yeah.
it was
like there's
cool.
like electromagnetism. Then here's the thing: the Rangers have pistols, they have like guns, they have swords, and then they have their own melee weapons, and they have the Zeo cannon, which is like these big Zeo crystals, and they do this thing where they pull it. Remember that where they like it's like essentially their big power blaster, but they have a separate power blaster.
Then we have 2 wheels.
So Tommy's Zord has this cockpit thing that shoots out this thing called the Defender Wheel. Tommy's in it, and it's essentially a big hamster wheel that he runs into things.
What?
It's really stupid. There's the Red Battle Zord, because that's actually in that storyline where Tommy's with the girl. Because like they mess up the regular Megazord. I think it's because of that power thing. Like as I said, didn't they say like the Zeo Megazord ran on solar power or something stupid like that?
I don't remember, but
Tommy had this Red Battle Zord. It's like a thing that
he used to control it with his mind.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty cool plot conceit because the cop out is like in the Sentai, literally the Zord does aerobics. That's not a joke. He does this, but he can't control it right because Billy studied the Equation Rangers like habits of Zords, and it's like telekinetic. So Tommy has to be in peace in his mind, and he's like all in flux because he's trying to learn about his past. So he gets this new Zord, and it's actually a really cool Zord. It's on par with like in terms of individual red Zords, because you and I were talking about the Red Dragon Zord, because the Red Ranger usually gets like a primary Zord. It's this really cool thing that has like rapid punches and Gatling gun hands. It's really cool.
When it combines with the
Zeo Megazords, he flips his arms over and they're just cannon.
It's like it gives it a massage.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like I thought it was a cool Zord. Well, what's the other wheel? There's another
Warrior wheel.
Warrior wheel. So there's the Defender wheel. They really like wheels or something.
I don't know what it was with the Egyptian symbolism, but I don't know why they need so many.
I don't think a wheel had to do with Egypt.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Super Zeo Zord was pretty cool.
Yeah, the Super Zeo Zords are like these Zords that they get. Like I like them more because they're essentially just big blocky versions of their shapes in robot form. Well, and they can fight on their own too. Because like we don't typically see the regular mega like Zord pieces fight on their own.
Simply not
for one episode. But I saw them like they had underwater fights. They were flying and crap.
They were similar to the Shogun Zords.
Yeah,
similar idea.
Well, I had to assume I'm like, well, wait a minute. Either Zordon, Alpha, and Billy can build Zords really quickly, or I feel like they probably just tweaked the Shogun Zords, narratively speaking, to make the Zeo Megazord.
So other things I liked about this, I love the Rito and Goldar subplot.
Oh, they're great.
Bulk and Skull. We haven't even talked about Bulk and Skull.
Bulk and Skull are fantastic this season. Well, there's a couple episodes. They're really good. So they are originally working with the police force like they had, but there's I have to say, there's an episode where Bulk is pining after the chief's daughter, I think.
Right. Yeah.
And he's kind of creepy in the episode.
Well, it's you look back now.
Yeah.
It seems way creepy. At the time, that was kind of considered. Oh well, that's normal.
And it's a kid show. They don't know. They don't have feelings at 7, 8, 7.
But it's you look back now, and it is creepy. And
then ultimately because it's a faux pas, they get fired Lieutenant Stone gets fired, and they decide to follow Lieutenant Stone to be private detectives with him. Which even though their cases are really stupid. It's like, hunt down this baby food.
Right. Yeah. Or the baby food mascot.
Yeah. And then it was Ernie.
I did like them as I love them with Rito and Goldar. I thought.
Yeah. Rito and Goldar are their servants because after the command center exploded, they have amnesia. Yeah. And there's one episode where they're maids for them, legitimately. They're dusting the detective's office. But let's talk about the most fulfilling episode of the season for these guys. It's the episode where there's a phantom piano player at the high school.
Yes.
And you find out that it's Skull. And Adam finds him because there's a monster that's like an organ or something. Mondo has a bunch of weird machine monsters. There's one that in the Sentai, it's a giant faucet monster that urinates on the Rangers. That's not a joke. That's not a joke.
Did we see that?
Not in America. There's a lot of weird stuff in the Sentai. Remember we talked about Gaskin and Archerina?
Right, yeah.
Skull is apparently a classically trained pianist, and Adam finds out and encourages him to play this concert at the youth center, and Bulk was complaining about, it's for nerds and so forth. And then when Skull plays it, and they were like, "Come here, buddy." And
That was the most beautiful thing I have ever heard.
What? Do you mean? I thought you said only dweebs play music.
Did I say that? Then I was wrong, buddy. Sorry, man. You're the best I've ever heard.
they hug it out. I'm like, yes.
I would say it's one of Bulk and Skull's best episodes.
Oh,
for sure.
There's an episode too where Bulk and Skull get transferred to a dimension looking for the rest of the Rangers, and they team up with this like lizard monster thing, and they fight off the cogs. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they're always a delight.
They're great. They're fantastic. They're better than the Rangers character wise. They've had way more arc.
And we're seeing them become more good guys by this point. I mean, they've really come a long way since season 1. I really think the strength, like we talked about, season 3 has a lot of arcs. I like the villain arcs in this because
the villains are the best characters outside of Bulk and Skull.
And yeah, I mean, so they really keep Rita and Zed around for a while. They show up. They show up here and there. There's a great episode that's like a Halloween episode where Adam has like a whole dream where he's dreaming up like a horror movie in his head.
I am Temecula.
That was actually,
and Rita and Zed have a cameo in that. It's great.
Yeah, that was the first time we'd seen them since they escaped. They do something they've never done on Power Rangers before. They actually defeat the main villain before the season's there. They defeat Mondo.
The Rangers kind of do.
Well, I'm saying that hadn't been done before, where they just seemingly defeat the villain halfway through the season.
Oh, that's right. So
you know what I mean?
Yeah. So they defeat Mondo pretty early, like a little more than halfway. Well, that's 3/4 of the season. So in America, we get Mondo's older son Gasket and his wife Archerina. Wasn't it like Mondo didn't want Gasket around because he married Archerina and that was his daughter, his rival or something?
It's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet thing, yeah.
In the Sentai, they do the same thing. They destroy Mondo's counterpart, but Sprocket's counterpart, Machina takes him to find his old head and they merge his body with his consciousness. And then Machina also calls in her niece to help with fighting the Rangers, and their counterparts get married. So in Japan, their counterparts are cousins.
Yeah.
And the less said about that, the better. Yeah. But they defeat Mondo, and then Gasket shows up, and he has his own.
You forgot one key person, Louis Kaboom.
Yeah, Louis Kaboom is this character who shows up. He's like a big missile. In America, we just said that. So Rita and Zed show up. They said, we're had it. We're going to try to come back. And there's this great like little arc where they're just like a family on like a vacation. Zed is driving an RV with Goldar and Rita.
Do-de-do-de-do. I gotta go. Are we there yet?
Ask him that one more time and you'll be walking the rest of the way.
They pick up Goldar and Rita on the moon. And Zed gets a flat...
And don't you even try to tell me my driving's at fault here. If you had to say turn left back there with... Oh, it's flat! Oh, see what you made me do!
They've got like a little TV and they're watching the Rangers and crap. It's hilarious. Zed's like domesticated dad now.
Well, Rita and Zed are essentially now...
The married couple.
The honeymooners.
Yeah, they are. One of these days... We're gonna get those Power Rangers.
And he's changing the tire, everything. It just... You could tell they were so popular. That's why they kept them around, the little subplots here and there. And I really liked that there was sort of a struggle for power between the Machine Empire and Rita and Zed, and you didn't know who was going to win.
They had an episode, or like a two-parter. It's actually the episode, unfortunate circumstances, that they write out Billy.
Right.
But Rita and Zed have their own monster where they fight Mondo's monster. Because Mondo comes back near the end of the season. Because apparently the Machine Empire, all they need to be is rebuilt after they get destroyed.
Apparently.
Narratively speaking.
In the American version.
Yes. So Mondo has this giant gear monster that can take over mechanical objects. So it takes over the Zeo Megazord, right?
Right.
And Zed and Rita are trying to shoot their staff because Rita gets a new staff. They shoot it at Cat and they miss. They hit Cat's purse and it becomes a purse monster. And
my favorite, I think maybe my favorite line of the whole season is Sprocket's.
No, it's Rita.
Well, no. Rita creates it, but Sprocket says the line.
No, Rita does. Because she sees it through his telescope.
No, Sprocket says.
I swear it was Rita, but go ahead.
Sprocket says that's so last season.
A purse monster? That's so last season.
Okay, fine. I swore it was Rita.
Yeah, no, Sprocket. Well, same voice.
So meta.
Great meta, yeah.
Because they have already had a purse monster. And they fight each other, and it's actually stock footage of the team up movie. It's the first time we get a Sentai team up in Power Rangers.
Right, we had the Alien Rangers.
The Alien Rangers show up because they're trying to help Billy with his aging situation because he's aging rapidly after the time jump thing after they did that stuff with the Alien Rangers arc. And it's cool because we actually see like Sentai teams team up, and it's really cool. It's the first time we've had it in Power Rangers. And they summon the Zords together, they fight the monsters together, and of course the Rangers win out.
I worked a lot. That was great. They had, I like the idea of the Rangers facing multiple villains and having to deal with Rita Head.
And the first monster took over the Super Zeo Megazord too. So they had both opposition's monsters were fighting each other with the Zords.
See,
that's awesome.
To me, that was very interesting.
Yeah.
I thought that was just...
That's almost on par with
Season 3.
The Season 3 fight with Master Vile and the Globber. That was badass.
It was. It really was.
Because he had multiple Zords and monsters. It was great. And they had the Shogun Mega Falcon Zord.
Yeah. It's the only disappointment is that they tease Rita and Zed taking over again, but then we don't see them again.
Yeah, so Rita and Zed come to Earth.
The Tenga and Cog fight is fantastic.
Yeah, they have a Tenga and Cog fight that's surprisingly violent. Like, they're disemboweling the Cogs, and the Tengas are just getting punched in the face and their feathers pulled and stuff. It's really awesome. After the Rangers defeat Mondo again, they're all on the moon, and Rita and Zed give Sprocket a gift. They open up the gift, they drive away in their RV, they blow up, and Zed says, "We're back!" And I'm like, when you're a kid and you think that, I'm like, yes!
Right.
But then we're going to get to something later, yeah.
I did like that we got another, we heard the Tenga song again, Tenga Bye Bye song.
Oh, isn't that one of the Cog themes?
Will they?
Because they have an instrumental theme for the Cog fight. They have a normal Cog fight song, but then there's another one that's like, I can't, I just like, but it sounds a little bit more electronic.
The Cog song is similar to the Tenga song, but it's not the same. Now, when the Tenga were finding the Cogs, they did a modified version of the Tenga song that was a little more electronic.
Yeah, they do have it's weird because they do like good rock guitars with electronica. Yeah. I especially love the build up when the villain's monster goes. They do like,
Gold Ranger, Jason's back.
Yeah,
which was really, really cool.
This is one of my favorite Ranger suit designs. Okay, we have to talk about everything with the Gold Ranger. You kind of just spoiled it, but when the Gold Ranger's introduced, we don't know who he is.
Right.
It's a mystery for a few episodes because he shows up when the Rangers are getting beaten up by this one monster. He shows up with his golden power staff because like they have this bit in the beginning of the episode where this pyramid comes to Earth, and he shows up and he destroys the monster, but his Zord is awesome because it's essentially just a giant pyramid tank until it gets to the Ultra Zord form where they don't explain why, I guess, the Gold Ranger had another section of the Zeo crystal or used it or something because he has Zeo powers, I guess.
Yeah, they don't
really go into the Zeo powers a lot after they get the powers.
And they say it's like the greatest power ever.
When he becomes the Ultra Zord, this tank stands upright, grows a head. The tip of the pyramid comes open and opens up this big square. And in the back, the rest of the Rangers' Zords go into it like a parking garage, and the red Battle Zord's cannons go on top, and it just destroys them. It's a really cool Zord. I love Pyramidas. But they do this running thing where there's a mystery of who the Gold Ranger is because they don't know what it is. And they were teasing for a couple episodes where it's Billy. Because Billy's always like not around. It's a Clark Kent thing.
And they kind of purposely like it.
They did. It was a red herring.
I just had some things I needed to take care of.
But you didn't see him.
See who?
Because they also, in that Native American storyline with Tommy, you find out about Tommy's brother. He's kind of a red herring. Because they show him in the episode, and he finds out that Tommy is a Power Ranger. So like, whenever they find out they're Power Rangers, I'm like, all right, then they're going to be the next Ranger. So you have to assume he's the Gold Ranger. Don't they even tease Skull in one episode? Where like Boss sees him and it's like a mirage and he thought it was the Gold Ranger?
Maybe. I don't recall.
But yeah, it's mostly Billy and Tommy's brother.
I love the fact that you had Jason, Billy, and Tommy back together was just great. I loved that part of it. I'm sorry it was a bummer it was so short lived, but it was just really great to have some of the original.
Let's not act like, well, you really wanted Billy to be the Gold Ranger because of his arc.
No, yeah, he deserved it.
I mean, he did. I don't know if they ever had plans to do it because here's where the Gold Ranger thing comes into. Did you know about this? We talked about this, right?
That he was a kid in Japan.
Well, it's a kid in Japan. Also, so is the White Ranger in Japan. But like, there's like 9 people who play the Gold Ranger. Because in America, when we do the post-production after they've shot this stuff, or at least dubbed it over, the original voice for the Gold Ranger was Brad Hawkins, who was the main guy on VR Troopers. And that's why I think they wanted to tie in VR Troopers in terms of canon, because it just ended. I don't know.
I don't think they would. I don't think it was.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
I think they just like using the same actor.
That was the rumor for the longest time. So Brad Hawkins is there as the voice for the Gold Ranger. After, like, there's that random bounty hunter that Mondo hires to attack him. He crashes on Aquitar, and the Equations take over, and we find out who the Gold Ranger is, and it's Trey of Triforia, some random alien we never met before. And he splits into 3 different personalities, and he says they're made up of that, but while he's in this state, he can't morph as the Gold Ranger. And Tommy brings in Jason, which you're like, as a kid, you're like, oh my God. Like, I marked out when that was when I was still somewhat conscious of what Power Rangers was doing when I was 9.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, Jason's back. And don't act like you didn't get like really excited.
Oh no,
I heard Jason say it's morphin time for the first time in a while. Like,
no, that was awesome. It was great to see them reverse it, where he was the 6th Ranger.
Yeah, they did like the reverse thing with Tommy
as the leader, and I like that they even acknowledged some things back in Mighty Morphin. Like Jason makes a comment. He's like, I can't let Tommy down again, referring to the green candle.
Yeah, but it turns out, like, because I guess the powers are made out to be for an alien life form. Jason can't handle the powers. So he has like, 15 or so episodes where he's the Gold Ranger?
15 or 20.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But the Gold Ranger powers are like messing up his body because they're not meant for a human, I guess.
He's going through.
He's getting really weak. He can't fight back.
Tommy went through with the
and they have to do the golden power transfer back because they have this golden power staff that Jason uses, or the Gold Ranger uses in general, to summon Pyramidas. It opens up, it shoots beams, and apparently it can also transfer the powers, I guess. I don't know. But he has to get the Power Ranger. He has to get the power back to the Gold Ranger Trey. And then there's like a fight with Mondo at the end of the last episode. It's not the greatest fight in the world, but the Rangers do grow to Zord size, so that's kind of cool.
Well, that was filmed in America because they already
their equivalent is when they fought Gaskin and Archerina. That was the Hawaii Zeo episode.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't talk about Auric.
Yeah, there's Auric, which is
Auric the Conqueror, this cheeky guy
he's Ninjor. He's
Ninjor this season. He shows up in a couple episodes to help the Rangers, mostly in Sentai footage. Does he even show up in America? I don't know.
And Nathan, we saw him. Auric, he showed up a couple times.
It's like American footage?
Oh,
I don't know. I think he's just there.
I think he was. I think
maybe for a brief thing. He was there for like Tanya's episode where they found her parents. He's like this tiki they were trying to discover in a cave, which I guess explains why Tanya does not have an African accent, even though she lived in Africa, because her parents are American.
Yeah, I think that was clear. That's why she was there.
So they unlock this guy. He's like eventually this big hero who does everything for right. You actually like his design. He's got like this big cape thing.
Yeah, he's
just a big mech guy who helps the Rangers out every once in a while.
Who's slightly less annoying than Ninjor.
Yeah, they have like a Ninjor every season. They just kind of write him out. They don't even talk about him.
Yeah. Yeah, so some final thoughts on Power Rangers Zeo.
Love me some Gold Ranger. Great suit design. Golden, red, and black look great together. It was awesome to see Jason back. Great arc for Billy. The Rangers are still boring. Bulk and Skull have a great arc. Rita and Zed have a great arc.
The villains.
Great music.
Great music.
The theme song, I kind of want to sing it, but I don't want to pay Hasbro. But you guys can look it up. It's fantastic.
The villain dynamics with each other, I thought
those are great.
Was new. I thought very clever. Tough to follow season 3. Not as good as season 3.
It's kind of like a mix of. It's pretty much season 4's take on season 1.
Yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah, I mean it's mostly filler, but there's some plot arcs. But it's essentially just episode of the day.
I wonder if they saved a lot of money because they used so much more.
Yeah, like I think the ratings were probably going down a little bit.
Yeah,
because I know that a lot of people dropped off when I was a kid. I wasn't watching a lot of Zeo. I only remember mostly the Gold Ranger stuff with Jason. But like, yeah, that's probably why they just like, all right, it's time to change out the suits. So we don't have to shoot American stuff. We can use Sentai footage, and if we really need a plot where we need the suits from Japan, we'll get them.
Yeah. Well, that's it for our Power Rangers Zeo review.
Backdash.
I am Chris Prudomenico.
I am Gabe Barrio.
And we'll see you next time for Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. See you next time.